Hi everyone, I hope you guys are all having a great day. Today I'm going to do a video where I talk about the top 5 books on my physical TBR. So we all have Goodreads TBRs, and then I think we also have books in our own home that we haven't read yet. And so for me, my Goodreads TBR is much more extensive than the books that I have in my home that I haven't read yet. Upstairs in my bedroom, I have a bookshelf where I keep books that I've read recently as well as books that I have bought recently within the past year or so that I would like to read soon. I think I have 35 or 36 books up there right now that I would like to read soon-ish. And I got the idea from a couple of other booktubers, including Tia and All the Books and Olive at the Book Olive, to do a quick discussion on some of the books that are top rated on Goodreads. So I went through my physical TBR, wrote out all the books that I have, and then went on Goodreads and looked at their star ratings, the number of ratings and reviews that each book had, and then the percentage of 5-star reviews that each book had, and I came up with the 5 top rated books on my TBR, my physical TBR, and I'm going to talk about those today. So I'm going to share them from 5th ranking all the way to 1st ranking. Coming up in 5th place on my physical TBR is Pachinko by Min-Jin Lee. This book had about 130,000 ratings, and overall those ratings averaged out to 4.26 stars. So that is number 5 on my list. I've got this for Christmas, so it's only been on my TBR shelf for 7 months. So that's not so bad. It's a beautiful book. It's historical fiction that I believe takes place in Korea and Japan, and I'm very excited to read it. I would like to get to it this year. So that was number 5. Number 4, which guys, this one really surprised me, was Stephen King's Different Seasons. This is a short story collection, and it's the one that contains the Shawshank Redemption. This book had almost 160,000 ratings on it, and the overall rating was 4.35. So I got this one for my birthday, I think, so it's only been on my TBR for a couple of months. I love Stephen King's writing anyway. I've heard many of his short stories are great. The Shawshank Redemption is a fantastic movie that I thoroughly enjoyed. And I definitely look forward to reading this. I might get to it in the fall because that seems like a good time to read creepy stories. And The Shawshank Redemption isn't that creepy. It's more dark and sad. So we'll see how that goes. The book that ranked in number 3 on my physical TBR is a historical fiction book called Fall the Shadows by Sharon K. Penman. This is historical fiction about Simon de Montfort, who lived during the reign of King Henry III. This is actually a trilogy that deals with Plantagenet princes and some of the noble characters surrounding those princes. The first one in the series was about Llewellyn the Great, Prince of Wales, during King John's reign. This one is about Simon de Montfort, who I'm pretty sure ends up being a traitor, but we shall see. So this one actually surprised me so much because it only has 8,500 reviews or ratings on Goodreads, which compared to some of these other ones is just, it's nothing. It's chunk change, right? But I couldn't keep it off the list because its 5-star rating was over 50%, which is higher than almost any other book on the list other than number 1. So I am including this on my top 5 because it has such a high ranking, coming in at 4.39 stars. So I will definitely give this book a try. It's not going to be the first one I read though, because the first one in the series, Here Be Dragons, was a good book, but I definitely found some faults with it, and I would like to get to these other ones before I read a book that I'm pretty sure is going to have some serious flaws. Okay, coming in at number 2 on my top rated TBR books is Homegoing by Ya Gyasi. This is historical fiction that takes place in 18th century Ghana, and I believe it tracks the lives of two sisters, half-sisters, and the different paths that their lives take as they grow up. And I think it's multi-generational too, and just the interweaving paths of their stories because of their different families and choices that they've made and things like that. So I am looking forward to reading this one. I believe I bought this for my birthday too, so again, it hasn't been on my TBR shelf for that long, and it is another one that I would like to get to. Actually, I want to get to this one this summer. Okay, and coming in at number 1 on my top rated books on my TBR is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. This has about 273,000 ratings on Goodreads with an overall rating of 4.52, which is pretty great. This has been on my TBR shelf since March, I think. So, not too long again. Actually, I'm pretty proud of myself because these have not been on my TBR shelf for that long, and these are all books that I'm really looking forward to, especially this one. This is also still on the list for the BookTube prize, so I plan on getting to that within the next couple of months, definitely before October when the official winner of the BookTube prize is announced. Okay, so those are the top rated books on my physical TBR. I do want to get to all of those by the end of the year. It may or may not happen. I'll keep you posted as I get to them. But I want to mention one other book on my TBR shelf because I was shocked at how many ratings it has. So while I was going through the books, as I said, I wrote down the number of ratings that each book had, the percentage of 5-star reviews, and then the overall rating for the book, which turns out to be overkill because math makes sense. I didn't need to do the percentages. But anyway, the point is, I was surprised to find out which book on my TBR had the most ratings. And that book is 100 Years of Solitude, and it has over 600,000 ratings on Goodreads, almost 700,000. I know that Gabriel Garcia Marquez is a famous writer. I'm so pleased that so many people have read this, but the reviews that I've read are rather mixed. I've heard some fabulous things about it. I've also heard that it's a very difficult read and it can be sort of boring. I am looking forward to reading it, although I probably will not get to it this year. I really only read about 4 books a month, and I feel like I have a lot that I want to get to even before October. So this one probably isn't going to happen this year, but it deserves a mention just because of how popular it seems to be on Goodreads. That being said, with almost 700,000 votes, its overall rating is a 4.06, which is still pretty great, but it wasn't high enough to make the top 5 list. I would love to know what you guys think about my top 5 books on my TBR. How many of them have you read? Were you surprised by any of the results? And I'd love to know what are the top rated books on your TBR. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.